Hey, so in the last video we did add, then divide, and multiply. Now we're going to do subtract, divide, and multiply. So this is because it's called a difference of an amount. What's a different word for difference that we know in maths? Well, difference, we can talk about subtraction. So it's in the question there. So difference of amount is very similar, as I said, to sharing, dividing. However, we need two keywords. We either need more or less. We need a keyword more or less in our question. So it's because it doesn't provide us a total value. Like, we started in the last one, divide 50 pounds, divide 60 pounds into this ratio. Now, we are only given the difference between our parts, right? So if we know how much they differ, right? Then we can say, okay, those two parts are worth maybe 10 pounds, and so we can find out what one part is that way. So, the acronym, that's why I said I don't use ATOM anymore, I use SDAM and ADAM, so they're pretty similar. So the only difference is just that first step where we subtract the numbers in the ratio to find the total number of parts, and I want to add a little bit onto there and say total number of parts difference. So it's still a total, just a different total. So, so let's get into our example. So you can see where this actually comes. So Kim and George share. So notice you still see that share in the ratio 5:2, where Kim's share is 9 pounds more than George. So that means in between this 5 and 2. There is 9 pounds, right? So that stands to reason that if we go, that 5 pounds is equal to 5 minus 2. Right? Sorry, that should be an equal sign. That 9 pounds is 5 minus 2. So that 9 pounds is equal to 3 parts. Okay? So that's kind of the starting point. So this is where we subtract the parts to get the difference of parts. Okay? So here we get 5 minus 2, and we get our difference of parts is 3. Right? Now we're going to divide the amount by our difference. So our amount is 9. We're dividing by our difference of 3, and we get that 3 pounds per part that I was talking about above. Now, how much do they each receive is our question. So we have to multiply back into both parts of the ratio. So we're going to do 5 parts, because that's really what our ratio says. It says we got 5 parts. Now we're timesing by 3 pounds per part. And I'm showing this a little bit more in detail just to bring something to your attention after. Here, though, on the right side, we have 2 parts, right? And we know that they are times by 3 pounds per part. So we can multiply those numbers and we get 15 to 6. So one thing you can check, well, what is the difference between 15 and 6? Well, the difference is 9. Okay, and we know we've kept our ratio, so therefore 15 pounds and 6 pounds. So the units actually come from here. Notice when we're doing fractions, right? If we have a part over a part, they just cancel out because something over itself is just 1, right? So same thing. That's where we get our units of pounds from. This is called unit analysis, and it is a way to do our conversions and stuff and not make mistakes. So we still use unit analysis in all types of maths. So example 2, Jess and Mark share donuts in the ratio 4:9. If Jess had 10 donuts less, so that's our keyword less, and we have share, so we know we're doing ADAM or SDAM, then Mark, how many do they each receive? So first thing, we have to subtract because we see that less or more. So 9 minus 4 is 5. Then 10, right? That's our amount, divided by 5. So it's 2, and we can put some units if you want to this. you don't have to include units till your end donuts per part. And we want to know how many do they each receive. So if it's 2 donuts per part, that means 8 for Jess. And I'm multiplying our 9 in 9 by 2 for Mark. So we get 9 times 2 is 18. Because I'm just taking this, multiply by 2. This, multiply by 2. This is our 2 donuts per part that we found. Okay, so. And like I said, you can always go back and check. Well, does Jess have 10 less than Mark? Oh yeah, of course. And lastly, Ivan, Nathan, and Mason share money in the ratio 1 to 4 to 7. They're not really good sharers, but that's no skin off our backs. So Nathan gets 12 pounds more than Ivan. So just because there's 3 people here, I'm going to put them above our ratio in our question so I can remember what I'm actually going to subtract. So Ivan and Nathan are the ones we're interested in. That's at 4 and 1. And so we have this share, and we have, this should have said more. Sorry, my mistake. So 4 minus 1 equals 3. Okay, so I should have had more there. You probably read that and went, oh, yeah. So anyways, our difference is 3. So now we have that 12 pounds that we have. Divide by 3. So that's 4 pounds per part. Okay. So now, how much money do they each receive? Well, we're going to do one part times by 4 pounds per part. And then that'll be to 4 parts times by 4 pounds per part. And lastly, 7 parts times by or 4 pounds per part. Like I said, you do not have to include stuff until the end. I do it just to show you where we actually have all this come from. So here we can quickly see that we have 4 to 16 to 28 and pounds. So we could write this out in words, and that'd be completely okay as well. Hey, so 3 questions for you to try. As usual, please pause the video at this point. When you have questions or want to move on, press play, and we'll go through the answers. Right. So, welcome back. 3 questions on this. So, Kirby and Yoshi have a cookie eating competition where Kirby eats 6 more cookies than Yoshi. So, right away, I'm going to find our difference is 2. So, at the end, they're in a ratio of 5 to 3. So, how many cookies does Kirby eat? So, what do we have? 5 to 3. So, that is 6 cookies divided by 2 is 3. Okay? So now we're looking at this. Kirby is our first. So we're taking this 5 times by 3, and this equals 15 cookies. Okay? And that one's done. Next one. Wacko and Dot share some money in the ratio. So they're sharing. There's a less. In ratio 4 to 9, difference here is 5. Wacko gets 20 pounds, so we're doing 20 divided by 5, and that's 4. So, if Dot is the second number in our ratio, we're doing 4 times 9, and we're finding that 36 pounds for Dot. Okay. And lastly, Ivan, Wyatt, and Mason share some money in the ratio 3 to 5 to 6. So that's our share. So we know we're doing ADAM or SDAM. Mason gets $15 more. So now we know we're doing SDAM. And we're going to look at Ivan and Mason. So Ivan is that one, Mason's that one. So we want our outside numbers. So we're going to do 6 minus 3, which is 3. Then we're going to do 18 divided by that 3, which is $6 per part then. And then we want to know how much do they have to share. So, that's a different kind of question though. Well, if we want to know how much they have to share, we have to know how much each of them have. So let's just work with that right now. So we're going to do 3 times by 6. That's 18. Then we're going to do 5 times by 6, which is 30. And then we're going to do 6 times by 6, which is 36. Now, if we want to find out how much they had together, well, we just add each of their parts. So, what we're going to get, is 8 and 6, it'll be 14, carry 1. So that's 2 and 6, $84 to share. So you're starting to see the styles of questions that you can start to bring together everything we've kind of learned about ratios and start to intermix the problems as such.